I'm Eric.
And I'm Steve.
Commander Brawl.
Spellbook Jace.
Pre-release pre-orders.
Let's talk about it.
Welcome, Planeswalkers, to episode 24 of Let's Talk About It.
Woo!
As normal, if you like us, give us a like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. Hit the bell if you want notifications whenever we post. Just a few minutes ago, Commander announced a new standard Commander format called Brawl.
So literally like 8 minutes ago.
Yeah, Steve said there's going to be a huge announcement, and we tuned in for that, and yeah, we kind of dug into it, and here's basically the rundown. It's a standard version of Commander, 60-card singleton. So instead of 100 cards, 30
Life,
starting life. Yeah. It's a multiplayer suggested format where you can use either a legendary creature or a planeswalker. So that's kind of indicative of the changes they've made with legendaries and planeswalkers and stuff. A free mulligan and a multiplayer draw.
Is suggested, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, right now it'd be Kaladesh, Amonkhet, and Ixalan blocks, 60-card singleton.
So, I mean, just to kind of set this up a little bit, I heard about this last night on another YouTube channel, and there wasn't a whole lot of information there. So it was kind of like, wait, what? They're trying to make a rotating commander format? Because, I mean, obviously they didn't have the information yet. So I was really skeptical about this. And even when I told Eric, he was just like, what?
Yeah, like, all I could think of is, oh, Wizards just wants commander players to buy packs now. Like,
well, and the first thought that came to my mind is they can't put us in a box. It's wild, wild west of Magic. They can't do anything. I mean, they can't make us do blah, blah. Yeah, so anyway, it's not that they're changing anything with Commander, which is 100% what they should do. They should never try and touch it. They let it keep doing what it's doing.
Yep.
I, after reading the article, am actually all for this. I didn't think I would be until, I actually started getting into it and like, oh my god, okay, this makes a lot of sense. I love that it's 60 cards. That makes a heck of a lot of sense, especially with their reasoning behind it. Like, really, if you're trying to make a 100-card pirate deck in this format right now, you're gonna have to try and include, you're gonna have to include a bunch of really crappy pirates in comparison to a 6-card deck, which could be all great. Yeah. So, I don't know. Moving forward, I don't know if this is gonna be like a rotating thing. I'm assuming that it would be. That makes things a little tough. So that's another thing is Commander players don't typically like rotating decks. Like,
the nice thing about it, like, I don't know how you started Commander, Steve, but for me, I started playing with Shroom. I played a standard deck in Shards of Alara. It had Shroom, it had Master Transmuter, all these favorite artifacts, and then I said, I love how these cards work together. Shroom is my legendary, like, I tried to play her and get all this crazy stuff out of my graveyard. So I said, I'm just going to make this into a Commander deck. Yeah. And instead of, running play sets or whatever, I went down to 1, and I kind of took that, like, feeling and made it into my first Commander deck.
So you're saying this... Well, I guess this would be like a catalyst. You'd start here and then just, as soon as it rotates, just add whatever you need to from the last 25 years and then just upgrade your commander deck, really.
Yeah, if you said build a pirate deck, you could start with Beckett Brass. Yeah. And maybe it's not a hit. Maybe you've only got to include the rares and some extra stuff to make it work. But once it's out of standard, you could build all the extra pirates and, from the dark and all that extra stuff.
Which, honestly, there probably are enough pirates to make a full commander deck in these sets, which is weird. But it's true. I mean, same with, like, artifacts right now. Like, that Jorah deck for this format is going to be ridiculous still. Yeah. Like, with Kaladesh still in there, oh my gosh. Yeah. Like, that's what I would build. Either that or... There's also the 5-color wizard dudes. Just cast anything in Magic or in Standard right now. Just whatever. Oh, nice blah. So I mean, there's plenty of space to play around with this. I'm excited. I want to try. I think Planeswalkers are going to be a huge hit. Yep. I think them coming out and saying something or making a format where it's actually legal to do that is great.
And I think that foretells a lot for Commander overall.
Well, I don't know. I think in my mind, this might just be this kind of thing. Okay. I don't think they'll ever change that in the Commander because it does. I mean, there's a lot more Planeswalkers to consider at that point too, which could be part of the problem.
Yeah, that's true.
And there's a lot more busted things that you can really do.
Old school Commander.
Yeah. So
yeah, I guess that's true.
I think that would be a great way to keep this format relevant.
Yeah.
Because it's something that's different and exciting. I would build a Vraska deck in a heartbeat. Like. She's cool. I mean, she makes you a token. She destroys stuff. She has a weird ultimate that pretty much bones one player. So
yeah.
I don't know. It's interesting. I'm excited to try it out. This is just another filming thing for us. I mean, really, we get to do, Pauper to Power and this and
Brawl.
brawls and monocolor summits and all kinds of other crap. So it's pretty exciting. I don't know. Is there anything else we need to say about this? I mean, other than I'm for it.
One thing that struck me is in the past you think of Frontier. I don't know if Frontier is a thing anymore, but I think that was a generated thing. I think somebody in Japan kicked that one off. I don't know.
Yeah, this is a little bit different because this is coming directly from Wizards.
And that's the first thing I thought of was you think of tiny leaders or whatever the opposite of tiny leaders was. I don't remember, but I remember.
What was that called?
CMC4 greater or whatever.
Yeah, first 3 turns go.
Yeah, and to me, those formats went away because they were kind of it's a cool idea, but now, like you said, this is coming from the mothership.
There was no support, whereas this is 100% supported.
Yes.
I hope this actually takes off.
Wizards wants your feedback on it too,
yes,
so they said, give it a shot, because of course they want people to try it, not just pass judgment. Give it a shot, and then they added a whole bunch of links and stuff to suggest feedback and everything like that. So
yeah, check it out. There'll be a link in the description to get to the article. I would really stress to give this a chance. I think it's a great thing. I know I've already said that 3 times, but I really do. Like I said, at first I was just this is just Wizards trying to get more money from us. The big corporation. But in reality, I don't know. It sounds awesome. It's a different way to play the game, which is always liked, I guess, by me.
Yeah.
Especially if it's something that's actually backed by them and we get support for it, because that's specifically what they said towards the end of the article is we want to see how this goes. We want to know how you feel about it, and we will be supporting it if you guys like it. So who knows what that means? Maybe another Commander product that's specific for this, which means more Commanders for us either way, regardless. So why would we care if it's the standard version?
Yeah. And maybe that'd be easier for them to make. I know I gripe a lot about Commander 17 and 16, and you go back to 13 even and stuff. Those products weren't available enough, and if they make a 60 card pack, what if it's $20, $25?
I mean, it includes even more people into the game.
Yes.
Because really somebody going to F&M, just like the Challenger decks, can pick up a Commander deck now. And really, what is it to upgrade that Commander deck to be an actual Commander deck? Not much. You add
12 lands and some other stuff.
So it's another great way to get people into the game. I'm all for it.
Yep.
So breaking into the Spellbook Jace, or Jace's Spellbook, whichever way you want to say it, we've got Jace Beleren. A lot of people were speculating this was me, Jace the Mind Sculptor. I don't know why anybody thought that was ever going to be a thing. This is obviously the best choice in my opinion. This is the Jace that we all remember to be the first Jace, so that makes a lot of sense why they chose this one. I love the white on blue. That looks ridiculously cool. Also, the little foil stamp thing. What is that, a stamp?
Yeah, the holographic stamp.
The sticker, I guess you want to call it. I love the way that they circled that with Jace's symbol. That is all awesome. The new formatting on these cards looks beautiful. I want this card in foil. Breaking into that, I know you've got something to say about that.
As far as the
way it's set up.
Yeah, so for $20 you get these 8 cards, and one of them at random will be a foil. So kind of it's interesting. It's kind of odd in the same time. I guess it's a replacement from the vault in that regard, but I don't know. It's kind of strange.
Yeah, a character focus instead of a theme focus, which is pretty interesting. I mean, if you think about it, they've got probably more characters than themes, of course, because themes eventually kind of run dry, as we've seen in Masters 25. We've seen probably in From the Vault. They were getting a little weird towards the end.
Masterpieces, I mean, I think they could have tried something different, but yeah, here I think the character is the better thing to focus on.
Well, yeah, and they can make these till they're blue in the face, basically. There's so many different Planeswalker characters that they could focus on. I mean, we were talking about earlier, I want to see a Liliana one. That would be great. We would have Liliana Vest. Garrick, we'd have Garrick Wildspeaker most likely. And like you said, Chandra, hopefully it's not the original Chandra.
They should just do Koth or something.
Yeah, I'd go for that.
Yeah.
Hopefully Koth's still alive and we get to see him here pretty soon. But
yeah, that'd be sweet.
Who knows? Anyway, knocked it out of the park, I think. Another thing that we were talking about earlier is that this is a WPN exclusive, so that does help the local game store, which is a big boon for basically anybody that's in that business. So you.
Yeah. Yep.
Great example of a product done right, in my opinion. I think there should be more WPN exclusive products, in my opinion. That way, you know, these game stores can keep going. I mean, really, you can't compete with Walmart when it comes to like selling things. So
no. We'll touch on that here in our third thing to talk about. But yeah, it truly is. It's a good decision if you ask me. Like, I think if, you know, I guess there's nothing wrong with getting your groceries and seeing this on the shelf and picking it up, but like,
at the same time, come to CollectorMania.
Yeah, or anywhere. Like, you should like, I always tell people this. I think there's a surprising amount of people that do this. I'd say like 80% plus of people that say, yeah, I always come here first, or I check one or two other stores, but like, you know.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think the community is focused on helping the store grow and continuing to exist, essentially, because
and that's the key.
We don't have anywhere else to play. I mean, well, except for like basements and everything else, but you know, who wants to do that?
Right. And
centralized location.
That's the key. Like, and a lot of game stores know that as well. They just say, you want people to like come here and buy, but you want them to play. Like, because you could do anything. Like, we film in a basement, like, for the most part, if we're not at the shop or something. Like, you know, it's people. I know people that like, you can go home and have a beer and play a game of miniatures or something. Like, there's an appeal to that, but
that's one thing I do wish we could do.
Yeah, at the shop, you mean?
Yeah, late night gaming.
Late night, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of shops that do that, and it's definitely a popular idea.
Need a liquor license. I could be your bartender, dude.
Yeah, you could. You have to remodel or something, but
I mean, we've got the space.
Yeah. But yeah, like, I think it's good overall. You know, store exclusives is a good thing.
Yeah,
like, definitely cool.
Once again, we'll touch on that more in a little bit here, but we'll get through this real quick first. Oh, we
might have missed one somehow.
There we go. Blue Elemental Blast. So this is the next card. Keeping in mind, once again, that one of these is randomly going to be foil, so this will look great in foil. I'm not 100% on the artwork here. I think it's cool that it's new artwork, but at the same time, I'm kind of like, I mean, it's a little dark, blah, blah, whatever. As we've commented before, this new like line that separates the card text and the flavor text is pretty interesting. I think it's a nice formatting change, honestly. Like, at first I didn't like it as much, but the more I look at it, I like it, which there's another change that we'll talk about here at some point that I don't care for. But pretty cool.
Yeah, Blue Blast. Decent choice, I'd say.
And this one's going to be ridiculous. Like, the foil of this is probably going to cost like $80 or something stupid.
Yep.
And that's just because it's Brainstorm. It's played in a lot of places. I love the flavor text on this. Like, that is 100% Jace. Like, old Jace, I would even say. It's not even this new Jace. It's old Jace.
Yeah.
Because I know there are a lot of people that talk about that, too.
It's cool, like, Ravnica background, it looks like.
Yeah.
That's great art. I don't know, for, like, icon, like, something that's iconic, I don't know if this will ever beat, like, the, oh my god, the Mercadian Masks Brainstorm or whatever, but yeah, I wouldn't complain if I got this as my foil. Definitely sweet, good choice. Even just the look of it looks sharp.
Well, and those symbols, like, yeah,
very cool.
That hand too.
Yes.
And then of course this one is a callback to an older product, but I think this art is 100% perfect for the product. I mean, this counterspell is probably one of the ones that I looked for a long time, and I finally got a copy of it, but it took me forever, and now I get another chance to grab it.
Is this the Jace vs. Chandra dual deck one, or
it's either that or it's one of those. I can't remember exactly which one it's from.
All I know is full art, is it?
No.
Okay.
All I know is I had a hell of a time finding it.
Okay.
Just because it was one of those dual decks, and it was pretty. I think it's one of the ones that was really successful, so it was harder to find. I mean, just this. I thought about this last night when I was looking at the card. Like, it makes Jace look more powerful than he actually is. Like, a lot of these old artworks do. Like, I can't imagine Jace using any kind of spell power to actually throw a fireball away from him now, because all I can really do is make illusions and, like, trick people. And that's, like, become a lore thing, which is weird to me. Whereas this is, like, actually showing him, like, canceling a spell, which I don't think it's possible for him in the current story.
Yeah.
So that's kind of interesting, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know what that is.
Yeah. Just kind of a shift in what they need from the character, you know, like,
I guess they need to make him vulnerable, I guess.
Yeah, and the same thing, like, as you guys know, and I mentioned, like, Garrick's kind of my first Planeswalker, and I'm a really big fan of him, and like, I felt a little weird when they kind of made him like green black with the whole Liliana like curse and stuff. Yeah, like, but to me it was just like, you know, you have Garrick Wildspeaker and then like Garrick Caller of the Pack or whatever, and like or Primal Hunter rather, and Caller of the Beast and stuff like, and then those were different. All of a sudden you have Garrick Apex Predator and stuff. Like this does look like a or like the old Jace, I think, you know.
Yeah, I mean it is very much old Jace, which is cool. I mean, they needed to call back to that, in my opinion. They don't need this new pirate Jace.
Yeah. Interesting.
And those double mana blue symbols, like, oh my gosh, they look so sharp on this card frame. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Gifts Ungiven. Great art. Another pretty important card for Modern and Legacy, and
yeah, it's played several places, and you know, once again, the artwork's pretty cool. I like the background. I'm assuming this is Ixalan. That's what it looks like to me.
Maybe kind of some temples in the back left or something.
Who knows, though?
It might be, I don't know, it might be Ravnica still.
It could be.
Looks like there's some more cities and stuff over here.
Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying now. Yeah, it's probably Ravnica.
Still looks sweet.
Yeah.
And this is like one of, I think, probably the second most valuable card.
Yeah, somewhere in like the $7 or $8 range. And then having a foil of this, once again, will probably shoot it up to like $20, $30. Yeah. Since it is a very exclusive product.
Next, of course, and I think this is one of the bigger hits. We have Mystical Tutor with some new art,
which I'm really happy they did this. Honestly, I don't really care for any of the Mystical Tutor arts, and I don't honestly care for this one either. But I like that there's variety.
Yeah.
And then that kind of leads me into something that I was thinking about. For all those people that are trying to build like exclusive decks built around a Planeswalker, these packs are going to be ridiculously valuable too. There's probably people waiting for all those Planeswalkers we just talked about, just so they can build off their flip Planeswalker into one of these packs and just make 100% themed commander deck around that character. And this definitely helps a lot.
Yeah, big time.
Because it provides spells that, you know, haven't had that artwork, you know, this character on the artwork before, and now all of a sudden it's just like perfect. I wish there would have been a Cryptic Command in here, because that would have been ridiculously awesome.
My goodness, that'd be insane.
But once again, they've got to limit the value somehow, otherwise these packs just get bought up by everybody and sold on eBay. So it's a very thin line that they kind of skate around with this.
Yeah, definitely. Could include, I think this is our third most valuable card.
Yeah.
And I think it'd be nuts foil. It'd be one of maybe 2-3 sources.
Now this card, on the other hand, I love the artwork on it. Negate has always been one of my favorite counter spells. Like, I think it's a good include in Commander, just because most of the time the creatures really aren't the problem. It's the spells that go along with the creatures. So this is, you know, cheap, easy to cast, perfect in my opinion. You know, it may not be that exciting in an include, but somebody that plays the formats like I do loves this. Yeah, especially in foil. I would play this all the time.
It'd be kind of a bummer to get it as a foil, but like that is probably one of the sweetest negate arts I've seen.
Yeah, then you just trade it to me.
Yeah. Let Steve know if you pull one.
Yeah.
Threads of Disloyalty. Is that one pricey?
It's not too pricey, but it is played.
Okay.
Or it was played. I don't know if it still is, but it was played in some format somewhere. Like, it's interesting. It's definitely like more of like a 1v1 kind of thing. You know, you don't want to play this in multiplayer Commander, just coming from Commander perspective. Just because converted mana costs 2. There's not that many. So
yeah, not as good, but pretty cool art.
Artwork's awesome though.
Yeah. I think that's it for Spellbook Jace. So again, $20. We'll link to the article. Sorry we don't have a release date off the top of my head or Steve's head, but cool product. I think it'd be worth picking up one. I'd definitely get one.
Well, I'm excited to see what happens next year or whenever. I don't know what kind of release schedule they have for these. I mean, this is the kind of product that you could probably throw 3 out a year and you'd be fine. Like this isn't something like like the Commander products. You definitely don't want to double up on those, or you definitely don't want to double up on Master sets. But something like this, like $20, whatever, just get as many of them as you can printed and out there. Like people will buy these no matter what, regardless.
And it's definitely separate from the vault like release schedule. I don't think people are looking to these for a ton like you would for like from the vault. Oh, we need a Damnation. Oh, we need this or that. Just give us some Jace cards. Give us some whoever cards.
I mean, they could in the end. Like, once again, as we talked about, like Mystical Tutor, I mean, it's not a very expensive card, but it is kind of pricey. So getting the Mystical Tutor and all of this for $20, like, you've pretty much covered everything. Like, especially with like Gifts Ungiven. Like, there are a few cards in here that I wouldn't use necessarily for Commander, but there are also a few cards that people wouldn't use for Legacy, or people wouldn't use for Modern. Well, there's a lot of cards for that, you know, stuff like that.
Right, right. Overall, a good collector's product, good for Commander. I know that's a kind of our focus. Like,
yeah, I mean, you could also just pick up 2 of these, keep one of them sealed, and sell it in 10 years.
Once there's a whole run of them.
What kind of money?
Yeah, definitely.
Depending on the allocation and all that stuff.
Yeah, that's the one thing that I'm not sure of. And if it's $20 and there's random packs and stuff, hopefully we don't get 20 of these. That would totally suck.
Well, yeah, it should be like they should ship this almost in like a booster box, you know, and just be like, here's
a display of 10 or something, and you have a 40 limit, and you can order more for weeks and weeks if you want. Hopefully this doesn't go out in like a month. That would kind of stink.
Yeah.
All right, guys. The next thing here we're going to break into is just kind of discussing the pre-release pre-orders. So Wizards just came out with an email, I think 2 days ago, discussing kind of some cool options here for game stores. Essentially what like rated stores are allowed to do is pre-order and sell booster boxes with buy a box promos here. In this case for Dominaria, it's Firesong and Sunspeaker. That's the only way to get this card, is as a buy a box promo for Dominaria. And the kick is going to be available on pre-release weekend. So for April 21st and 22nd, you show up to a pre-release, you play, you pre-order, let your store know. Based off if you're core or advanced plus, you get a certain number of promos and boxes that you can pre-sell. So pretty neat. I think Wizards has always done a really good job of kind of not like driving people to stores, but incentivizing people to buy boxes at stores rather than online or at a, you know, obviously you can't go to Walmart and buy a box generally, but the big deal is online. Brick and mortar stores are the only ones that get the buy box promos, and now the buy box promo isn't just like we were talking about earlier, a captain's hook or something that you can get in a pack. It's going to be these new Minotaurs here. This is the only way to get them as well.
I think they've really like they've really realized how much Commander players there actually are. Because now they're like doing exclusive like baity Commander cards as the buy a box promo, and you can only get this card through the buy a box.
Yep.
So like, that's a really smart decision. Yeah, it kind of like as a Commander player, it's a little bit like I don't want to have to jump through hoops to get my card.
Yeah, it is a bit of a shame. I'm glad that they're making a worthwhile card now.
Yeah. They just need to keep this up. As much as I guess dislike it, I'd like it at the same time.
And I'm sure these cards will be everywhere. Even you might have to wait a little bit. I'm sure your game store will have them for people that like, I don't play Commander. This card isn't going to be a standard hit or whatever. Like, and just trade it back or something. And I mean, if you're an Advanced Plus store, you get 60 copies of these. Like, I mean, most cards like that are going to be relatively affordable. So it kind of does stink that it's associated with a box if you don't want to buy a box or something, but it's cool. I like the pre-release idea. People are always at pre-releases anyway. They're just when can I get my box? Oh, today's that day, right? And now it truly is, you know.
Well, and you know, coming at it from somebody that usually goes to pre-release and then takes that time off, and then it goes to the next week, and then I get the box and I want to organize it and blah blah blah, and I wish I had the time off to do that. Like, it's kind of cool because now I can go to the pre-release, and instantly after pre-release I can go home and I can organize all my new stuff. So
that's cool.
And, you know, as far as Commander goes, once again, like, I'm pretty sure once it's opened, even at pre-release, it's Commander legal. So there's no, like, question there. So even if you're in, like, a league or whatever, open it up the week before, put it in your deck, you're good to go.
Good, right.
So interesting there. Something I did want to go, I guess, talk about as an aside, which I should have brought up earlier, but the new card frame for the Legendaries. Like, I know we talked about this yesterday, but we hadn't really had a chance to talk about it until I saw it again here. How do you feel about that? I'm not 100% on it.
It's a little different. I don't know if it's so different. To me, it kind of looks like a banner. Like, you could imagine a banner pole running behind here.
Yeah.
And these are like little like
cutouts,
swoops of the banner like hanging off of a metal pole or something like that. I don't know. It's
gonna take me a second to get used to it because I don't know. Like, I saw it in the Elves vs Goblins or Elves vs Inventors, I keep calling it Goblins, as well, because they've got the Azuri and stuff like that on there. And yeah, I mean, it looked okay, but I don't know. It's different.
It's different. Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt, but I saw it again and I was like, we haven't talked about that yet.
It's cool. Again, it's got that kind of flavor text separating line as well,
which is a good idea. I love the set symbol. Like, that set symbol pops in foil. Like, oh my gosh.
So It's cool. I think this is a very good idea. At the bottom, you can see this promotion lasts as long as the buy a box promo do. So encourage your players to pre-order today. If you want to get your boxes a week early, who doesn't, like, go tell your game store, like, you can save some money at us. I know other shops probably do the same thing. One thing that we've asked about, we had an email right away that's like, if I order 4 boxes, can I get 4 boxes early? And it's like, I mean, you only get one promo, and really we want people to kind of like, we want to share the wealth. We want 60 pre-orders on these if we can get there.
It out.
Yeah, like
I need a case. No.
Yeah, like it'd be cool. But obviously, I think people might get more into the habit of putting their name down, pre-ordering no matter what.
Well, and as you talked about, it's just like how hard do you have to work to get to do that? I mean, like you already get a discount, blah blah blah, and it's just like, come on, guys, just pre-order.
And now now you're on a list and you get a promo. Like, we've always had promos left over. I bet that'll change given the fact that these are unique to a buy a box promo.
Yeah, you'll probably have people coming from other stores, like even just looking for these. Like, say their store runs out, like you'll have people from other areas just like, hey, do you have any blah blah blah? Yeah.
Yep. Very curious. So,
yeah,
definitely cool. Okay, so we don't need that. Let's turn this guy off.
That's something I forgot to bring up is Elves vs. Inventors. They spoiled that whole thing.
Oh, they did?
Yeah. Okay. Maybe we make a separate video on that, just for like a run up to Morph into Commander.
Okay.
Does that sound like an idea?
Yeah.
Because that could be its own thing. You know what I mean?
Yes, we could do that.
Get people hyped for it. We don't necessarily have to do that today, but if we have time.
Yeah. Okay, guys, and I think the last topic here we want to kind of talk about is our, like, a new announcement from Wizards, again, within the last week about a WPN retailer advisory panel. The idea here is they kind of want shops to chime in and get help from Wizards and offer input and stuff. Like, one thing that I kind of equate this to is and I've talked about it here with Steve and with you all a bunch, there's like a Facebook group for retailers that Wizards will say, hey, how did Modern Masters 25 go or whatever? Like, you know, how was your...
And there's always those stupid surveys. I hate those stupid surveys.
Yeah. How was your pre-release? Like, was it better, worse, like just about the same? Like, all sorts of stuff like that. And I think this is kind of an evolution of that. The idea is they ask for stores to apply, you know, see if you want to kind of directly talk to Wizards. We applied. I don't know if we'll get accepted. I'm almost certain we probably couldn't talk about it if we do get accepted. Yeah. But I think, you know, they asked, why do you want to do this? And I said, well, I think a lot of people at the shop play all sorts of different Magic for different reasons. We have, you know, like case collectors. We have people who want to get one of each set. We have people who just want to play the cards and buy singles. We have people who just want to play with their kids who aren't old enough yet, so they'll buy some packs, like, or they want to get their hands on something for whatever. And I feel like a lot of the times they're just slightly missing the mark. And I think if we can provide that input and say, hey, print more Commander 17, like, stop doing one print run. Like, we only have cats left at the shop. Do you know what I mean? Like,
and like,
if we could get some more vampires or more dragons or whatever, like, it'd be insane. It truly, like, we would be selling those like crazy.
Yeah. Hotcakes.
Yeah, and like, it's just such a shame. And hopefully, like, this gets a little bit more of an outlet to Wizards to kind of consider that from the store. So,
well, I mean, it can only enhance. It can't hurt. You know what I mean? Like, really, to add all those voices to the pool, it's going to be a great thing.
Yes, yeah. So we'll see. It'll be interesting. I think it's a good move. I think Wizards kind of does need to listen to people a little bit more.
Yeah, there's or less. I don't know. There's an argument to be made for, like, you know, we've talked about this a couple times. I think social media is kind of like a problem at this point because it's pushing them in several different directions at one time, which is hard to achieve. And really, they need to do that, which kind of sucks for them. But I mean, they've done it fine in the past, so I don't know why they couldn't keep doing it.
Yeah.
I mean, Masters 25 is a great example of this. I mean, we've talked about it to death, but draft format versus actual value in pack, which one of those do people more care about in a Masters set? And it's probably going to be value in pack.
Right.
Like, draft format is cool and everything, but you're probably going to draft it once, but you're going to look for the cards forever. Yep. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know that doesn't 100% equate, but essentially that's how I look at it.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you open up a pack and you pull a Rurik Thar, you're going to be disappointed. all the time. You know what I mean? Like even, well, not even draft, but yeah. So I don't know. It's going to be an interesting thing. I don't really know. I guess I'm not really on this side. You're more, this is more you, less me.
Like it is definitely, I think, you know, retailer only. Like I would tell your shop to chime in and maybe see if they're in it, and if they do get in it, just kind of talk to your store owner. I think it's a good thing. And like you said, I think there's a difference between a vocal social media audience and like store owners. And
yeah, but I would rather have them listen to the store owners than the social media. I guess that's the point I was trying to make.
Yeah, and it makes sense. Like, and of course the people who, like, obviously we don't, the stores don't just want, give us the most amazing cheap product or whatever and a ton of it, and then we buy a ton of it and we're flooded, and then the consumer's like, well, nobody listened to us. Like, it's obviously kind of there's two steps here. The store buys it, the people buy it from the store. So there's obviously, and then Wizards wants to keep their game healthy. Like, there's shared interest amongst everybody, but you know, I think sometimes, and we talked about this, I think 1 or 2 episodes ago, people who just open the pack and say EV, I want expected value of this much out of this pack. Oh, it's not worth it. Like, that's not the way the game should live and breathe, I don't think.
But unfortunately it is. Yeah.
And I don't know if that's too much for the game store or too much for the consumer or whatever, like, but hopefully this will help kind of narrow in on that.
It's a really hard problem to tackle. I mean, in reality, like you're asking a company to do, like you said, you're asking it to go in so many different directions, and it's like they can't necessarily achieve them all the time.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know. There's some practical things they could do, like you said, allocating more product like the Commander 2017 to stores. Like, that would be a great hit for Commander, but I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. And odds are, like, I think they said 10 to 20 stores. Like, I doubt we'll make it on there, but
who knows?
Yeah, who knows, really. It'd be cool. We'll see.
Yeah.
But what do you think, Steve?
I think we've talked about it.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah.
So things coming up really quick, I guess. We've got the Pauper to Power episode that we'll be shooting probably tonight, so it'll probably come up in the next couple of weeks. We've also got some new stuff to play around with Brawl now, so that's pretty exciting. Also, Inventors versus Elves, or Elves versus Inventors, whichever way you want to say it, is coming out here pretty soon.
April 6th,
we'll probably shoot a separate review video for that, and then we'll kind of talk about like what, you know, Morph into Commander is all about again.
Yes.
Just to kind of reintroduce some new viewers to it and kind of freshen it up a little bit, because we haven't touched the series as much, and I think it's time to like give it a facelift. You know?
Definitely.
So anyway, we'll see you guys later, and I hope you guys enjoy, and of course subscribe, like, all that good stuff. Patreon. We'll see you next time.
Cool.